I'm not sure what happened with that intro. Something was wrong with it, but at least on my end, it may just be my computer or whatever. But what's up, everybody? Equus and G and PC, how you doing? Thank you for coming and watching. Let's Farm is up there at the top, saying first. We got to find something to do with those, like, because I don't see any reason to keep the thing, like the thing in chat that gives people first, second, and third place. I need to start doing something with that. I haven't decided what yet. I was just telling Robin this, and I'll just pick up right where we left off before the show started. But as you guys know, I've been doing a few debates and stuff, and dealing with creationists and stuff on Saturdays, and we've been doing this through the week. Now this Saturday, I've got the skeptic John coming on, so I'm going to talk with him. There will be no creationist here for that. I mean, I suppose I could go get one on the hook if he was interested in it, but I don't think he is. So that being said, next Saturday we're going to do an interesting thing. So I'm going to have possibly three creationists on, but two for sure. I'm not sure about Joseph yet. He's still not really answering me when I message him. But what we're going to do is they're going to pick 5 topics. I'm going to pick 5 topics. We're going to put all those topics in a wheel, and we'll spin the wheel, and we'll talk about whatever topic comes up. If it's their topic, they'll start. If it's my topic, I'll start. It's not going to be a debate. We're just going to talk about those things. We'll spend some amount of time. I haven't decided yet, 10, 15, 20 minutes, somewhere in there. And we'll spend that time talking on it. Now, if the audience doesn't like that topic, you can send like a little cheap super chat, and we'll spin the wheel again. Or you can send like a $5 super chat, and you can pick a topic of your own. Doesn't even have to be on the wheel. But of course, it has to be something we can actually discuss. I would prefer it be on the wheel. Maybe it'll have to be on the wheel still, because I don't want to do that. Somebody will send something stupid, and then I'll feel obligated to talk about it. Somebody will troll me and make me talk about something I don't want to. But so that's the point. And I haven't worked out all the details of this yet, but I think it's a fun way to interact with them. It lets them, Wheel of Truth. I was thinking Wheel of Facts and Faith. Something like that. I haven't figured out a good name for it yet, but anyway, I think it's a cool little idea that'll let us talk about various things instead of sticking it to one topic. With creationists, it's not really that much fun for me to stick on, like, objective morality. They want to talk about objective morality all over again, and I'm like, what else is there to add to that conversation? And if there's something you want to add to it and something we didn't cover, then fine. But like, I don't want to just rehash the same stuff and have the same argument and you sit and make the same. It'll just be the same show all over again. I don't want to do that. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. And they've already agreed to do this. So it should be fun. It'll be a different way of doing things. And if it works, we can keep the wheel and invite new people to come, do that. And then they have to talk about topics that they can pick topics that they feel comfortable and have strengths in talking about. And so can I. And it allows us to go back and forth and have a more dynamic conversation. So anyway, that's the plan for that. This show had been originally titled What's Next, Preparing for What's Next, something like that. I forget. And I had intended to come on here and talk about like protecting yourself and your stuff and your family, and because whenever it gets to the government's like starving people and shit, like those things are going to become a concern. And I'm not in any way suggesting that anybody needs to to act in a violent way or anything. But I mean, if somebody's going to bring it to your door, which they seem pretty intent on doing, like um, it is what it is. So, but yeah. So anyway, uh, what's up, Robin? How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, don't talk too much because we have so much time to fill here. Um, I'm just joking.
Well, I was trying not to interrupt you.
I know.
I did. I went to the eye doctors today, and I kind of got some bad news that my macular has went wet in my left eye now, and so that's not very good news for my eyes. But
Yeah. I caught part of that at the end of the stream last night. I was over on Proverbs guys talking to them. We had a pretty good conversation over there. Actually, it went pretty well.
yeah,
But I caught that towards the end, and that sucks, Robin.
not as well as Tuesday night went. That's all I can say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nice. Switch back to the topic
Let's
there.
get back to the politics. Good.
Uh, hey, Laura. That's all good. Okay. 1 second. Sorry.
That's
All
okay.
right.
Are you busy? Well, like I guess y'all know, Saturday or Tuesday night went great for Democrats. I mean, it was like we won everything from the mayor of New York City to the Georgia Public Service um, Commission. Like Democrats,
Georgia Public Service Commission.
it
Yeah,
was.
I watched that too.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody even knows what they did. Well, something about they set the electric rates or the power rates in Georgia, but like they even swept that. So like,
So let's go ahead, and this is the Kentucky Atheist. Let me go ahead and own it here. We had a bunch of Kentucky residents trying to vote for the New York mayor. They were sending in complaints that the polling places were closed.
can I
Come on,
admit?
guys.
Can I admit something? I wasn't. I actually did go to vote because I thought that our sheriff. We were voting on our sheriff because like the signs are everywhere, and so I thought that we were voting for sheriff. And so I went to my polling place. I didn't go up there to vote for anybody on, New York City or anything, but I thought that we had a sheriff's race that here in my county. Um, because we've got signs up like just going crazy and everything, and so I went to the polls and there was nobody there, and I called my dad, and my dad said that he went to the polls and there was nobody there. And then I got home and I watched it, and they were like, "People in Kentucky are trying to vote, and there is no elections." But I wasn't trying to vote for the. I thought it was our sheriff. So now I'm like really confused on why our sheriff is like a year ahead or something. I don't
Yeah,
understand when our sheriff race is going to actually be. So
yeah. We didn't have elections here. What? Hi, London. Good to see you. It's been a while, man. Uh,
yeah, hi
Glad to
London.
hear. Yeah, yeah, but it was funny. They, and a number of comedians and stuff made jokes at our expense for it, and that's fine. Uh, yeah, here's the difference between, somebody who's, I guess, an adult, and you know, if you say a word about our fearless orange leader, then like he completely freaks out and sues people and all over TV bitching, and we'll get to that in a minute. But um, like they made a joke. Kentucky people went and did something stupid. Yeah, okay, like it's fine. They didn't know. Everybody was excited. It's good to see. I'm more than happy to see that sort of people want to vote. This it's amazing whenever you see how bad things or can get and will get, that it immediately makes people want to vote, which is a good thing to see, because when people vote, they lose.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think though that people went to vote for the mayor. Like the Kentucky Attorney
Yes,
General is the
they
one.
did.
Made a post and said,
Yeah,
um, "You can't vote on the mayor of New York City or the governor of Virginia." But I don't think most people thought there were a race. Like I said, my sheriff things have got signs everywhere. I mean, like
yeah.
it was like it's
Well,
an election season right now. You know what I
t-
mean? And so I was just assuming that we
we
were
have a
have
different day.
elect yeah, that we were gonna have I mean, I wouldn't have thought that our sheriff race would be a year, ahead of time. They would start, like,
Yeah,
campaigning and everything. So, like, because 'cause they've been really ramped up here, but we
yeah,
haven't changed sheriffs in a long time, so and one of my best friends is a sheriff now, and I hate to see him retire, so I've been trying to figure out who to vote for because they're all Republicans, and I wasn't planning on ever voting for another one, so I don't know.
yeah. Well, if you're in a position to where I don't support any of those people,
But one of them's gonna end up being my sheriff, though. So there has
yeah,
to be one
but
that's better than the other.
this is the same thing that we're discussing about Congress, though. Like,
Yeah.
the Democrats don't owe them a vote, uh, to let them take people's health care away. Like
But I mean,
that,
one of these guys is going to be better than the other. Like one of them, I found out, I think is probably like a really big MAGA person, and so like they're kind. And most of my MAGA like friends that in this county, that's who they support. So I'm probably going to vote for the other guy.
yeah. I think you should vote if you can. Like, one of the I just found out too late for the last presidential election that they had changed some laws in Kentucky that allows me to vote again. I had not been able to vote since I voted for Al Gore back back when he ran for president, because I've been a convicted felon ever since then. Um, the
So you can get your vote back.
Yes, yes, you can vote in the state of Kentucky. Yes.
I know that you can get your gun rights back now.
Well, I can't, but
Yeah,
yeah, some people can.
yeah.
You can file for restoration of rights or clemency or pardons and all that crap. But usually, what happens, Kentucky has a thing to where if all of your offenses are Class D or whatever, which the lowest level felony, that you can then apply for restoration of rights. I thought you were my age. I couldn't vote until 2000. No, I'm 43, man.
See, I have a friend who is a veteran who lost his right to vote over child support
Yeah,
years ago, and I wrote um, Mitch McConnell's office over about it years ago, and of course they actually called me like on the phone. His office did, not him, but and told me that actually the Attorney General of Kentucky was the one that had to decide who got their voting rights back and everything. But like they made it, but I was like, if anybody should not ever lose their voting rights, it should be a veteran, that like that's the way I feel. Unless they've attacked the country, but unless they've attacked the Capitol or something like that,
yeah.
they shouldn't lose their voting rights. But
Well,
and his children are grown now too, so they're not even like on child support anymore. So
I got my voting rights back because of the law that they passed. But as far like I have like I don't know, I have my rap sheet's pretty long. Like, I have like 15 felonies, two different convictions for being a persistent felony offender. Um, I spent a long time on drugs and made a lot of bad choices, and uh,
stole a lot of meat.
I did steal a lot of meat. I did, in fact, steal a lot of meat, to the point the cops thought it was funny. Like, I never remember. Like, there was a whole carload of us, and we were in the hood up in Huntington, West Virginia, which is probably, well, it's the most populated, biggest city around here, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
close anyway. Yeah, Charleston's down the road about an hour or so, but um, so the they pull over they pull over this car. It's me and I've got my buddy. He's dead now. He got murdered up there, but he's in the front seat and it's a black dude, and there's two or three white girls in the back seat, and we're driving through the hood, and he's pointing places to go. And I mean, the cops were all over it. They knew what was up. Like as soon as they seen me driving that car, they knew what was up. Kentucky plates up there doing that shit, and man, they get us all out of the car and everything. They got a dog up there. They laid all this meat out on the car, and I swear it ended up being 48 packages of meat, and and it was big family packs too because I stole the biggest ones I could get. So they've got the whole car covered out there taking pictures. They're all high fiving each other because they're about to have a big cookout, and um, they couldn't prove that I stole any of it or anything though. So they even called the stores that it was marked on it, trying to get them to say that I took it, and they couldn't. So they just charged me with obstruction of justice for lying to them
That
about
was
my
me
name.
that was with you.
Yeah, I know.
And I was on probation, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, I won't get you in trouble. You sure did.
Well, you didn't get in trouble, did you?
They was going to take me to jail over that knife,
They
but
were.
I didn't.
Oh yeah, she had a
No.
butterfly knife. Yeah.
I'll be back. She said she'll be here in a couple minutes.
All right, cool. Yeah, they had a dog, and they're walking this dog around the car, and I'm watching them do it, and they just walk the car. The dog didn't do a damn thing, right? It couldn't have alerted because it didn't do anything other than walk around the car. It didn't pull, it didn't set, it didn't scratch, it didn't jump. It just walked around the car, and that was it. And they're like, oh well, the dog indicated that there's narcotics in the car, so we're going to search it. And I said, the dog didn't fucking do anything. What are you talking about? I said, is this on camera? And they were like, oh yeah, you're an expert on these dogs. You train these dogs, don't you? And I was like, oh fuck. And so it got worse from there, but we don't have to go into the rest of those details.
Okay, let's talk about Tuesday.
Fun story.
Let's go on about Tuesday because
Yeah.
it was a night we all needed because it's been like scary. I think like wondering, like we get the feeling that a lot of people are like ramped up when we seen like No Kings, but then you wonder, are they actually going to show up at the polls? And are the Republicans going to show up with the same fervor to try to defend this man and his administration? And obviously, they didn't this time.
No, I think that. Well, here's the interesting thing. So, whenever they looked at a lot of these states, even places where they did elect some Republicans. Now, Democrats won every major race, but even in places where our Democrats didn't win those races, they see like every county shifted blue.
Yes.
The blue counties went further blue, and the red counties shifted blue. Many of them turning blue. In various different places, this happened. There was an example I seen, and I went and looked it up. But there was a lot of places. It was a big time shift to blue.
Yeah, and it was and mostly like the most Trumpian candidates lost. Like
Yeah,
if there was two people, that were, one was Trumpian sorta or whatever, they lost. Of course, Mondami was probably the biggest like news of all
yeah.
because um,
Prop
like
50.
I watched the news like on Fox after he won, and they were like crying, like I mean it was just like pitiful. They were just like, oh, they were so scared, and then there was one clip, I don't know who that was like cussing out Sliwa for splitting the vote and stuff, and so it was yeah, it was a big win. I mean, Mondami won by a lot, didn't he? Like He got a
Yeah,
million.
wasn't it like? Well, he ended up winning by like 14 points, I think. Isn't that about right? The
Yeah.
Prop 50 passed by a landslide. London was telling us that he
Yes.
got the vote to help that pass, which
Oh,
is
great.
a good thing because of what's happened in Texas.
Yes, and here, well, although here's what I've been worried about that Texas thing, but then I was watching something last night where actually they may have screwed themselves with what they did. Not because the Democrats are fighting back, but because they took in Texas, they took some red, like deep red districts that have been like way up. You know what I mean? Like guaranteed wins for the Republicans. And
Yeah,
they split them up and they just have them leading by 2 or 3 points in those
right.
things.
The shift towards blue is gonna might end up
So
hurting.
any shift,
Yeah,
any kind of shift at all is going to put every one of those districts in play. So, in the best scenario possible, they could end up just losing more seats than what they actually even tried. Like they could lose the seats they already had, instead of just like gaining any because they took where they places where they were leading by 10, 12, 14 points in those districts and cut them down to like 3 points. So it would take very little shift. And all it would, do is like maybe some Democrats that show up that don't usually show up sometimes because they're so tired of voting in a district where they don't get to, their vote matters. I mean, if you live in a district like that and you're a Democrat and you're like, what's the point? You know what I mean? I'm in a district where it's never going to matter what I vote for.
yeah.
But now their votes will matter, and so I think that is so funny that like once again, if that works out that way, once again, the Republicans try to do something and completely take something and just screw it all up for themselves. I mean, they're so
Oh
good
yeah.
at that.
That's what I've always said. It's only their incompetency that outweighs their will to do evil.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
and London, you're welcome. You're welcome anytime, man. We would love to have you on. If you hell, you can come on today if you want. But if you want to like get with me and we've been doing this show every week, the political show. If you want to come on and talk the political stuff, we can do that. Or if you want to be a guest and talk about some other stuff, we can do that. So whatever you're interested in doing, I enjoy talking with you. We've always had great interaction, and you were my you were my honorary Kentuckian for a minute. I'm too drunk today, but next time, whatever that is. Okay.
London.
Um,
Yeah. What time is it in California?
is he? Are you in California or are you overseas still voting
Oh, okay. All
absentee?
right. He
Yeah.
just got to like absentee vote. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what he's. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a minute, but it's yeah. You're in the not United Kingdom. Okay, cool. So yeah, it's a good time for him. It's what evening there. Um, I voted from the UK by fax to California. Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad you did it, and thank you for doing that.
Yes,
And
Jeet is going to come on. I talked to him last night, and he's gonna be a guest. He said he would come in on any time we wanted, and actually he does a show too, like um, on Discord
no,
stuff. He has a podcast, and it's really nice too. Really good.
right on. As we go forward, I will. Today's show, I kind of like I said, I had a plan to do one thing, and then I was like, oh yeah, let's talk about the good news instead
Yeah.
of always having something awful.
Instead of preparing for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Have you got any clips or anything? Or
I didn't bring shit. I didn't bring shit
well, let's
today.
go. Okay, let's go over what happened. Is let's see. We got Mondami got elected in New York City mayor race. He is a Democratic socialist. So the conservatives are melting down because socialism is here. Um, even though probably most of them don't even know what that it means. But he is also a Muslim, which just like is really completely destroying their minds. Um, so yeah, Mondami made a lot of campaign promises, but he got a lot of young people excited about voting. Well, I got tickled. Like I think Fox was saying that 1 million people were going to flee New York City because of this.
Get the fuck out.
And Jordan Klepper said, "Let's imagine all of those empty apartments. If 1 million people leave, that's like the best thing for housing." He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, but you
Kick
know,
rocks,
and
motherfuckers.
I'm just hoping that they don't come to Kentucky.
Well,
Those
you
million,
know
those
what?
million conservatives that are fleeing, don't come here. That's what I'm
Here,
going to tell them.
here's the thing that pisses me off, right? Like Donald Trump and the Republicans won during our last national election. Not a fucking word about cheating and shit, right? Now it turns around, they're fucking everything up. It's the state of the country is the reason the way the votes are the way they are. It's who they are that's causing this.
Yeah,
And now it's back to everybody hollering cheating again. Apparently it's only fair if
they win.
Democrats lose, all right? I mean,
Yes,
like
exactly. Yes,
these
yes.
these motherfuckers, man.
Well, I mean, there wasn't no cheating. It wasn't cheating, and
No,
like it was easy. It was
it was Nazis.
predicted.
That was the
I mean,
problem.
it was predicted that Mondami was going to win. And the thing about it is the guy that ran against, like, okay, there was a Sliwa who was running for Republican thing or whatever, and then you had Cuomo who was not even a Republican. I mean, like he's not he got beat in by Mondami in the Democratic um,
Yeah,
primary.
yeah,
So, like these all these conservatives up there are actually losing their mind over one Democrat beating another Democrat, and what I mean, and
yeah. But
because one of them is a Muslim,
and one of
and
them was a team player.
and right socialism behind. And the best part was watching the speech that Eric Adams gave after they was like he was like, I'd be stupid to try to do this again. I'm going doing I'm going to lay it on the beach and all this stuff. I don't know what he's full of crap.
well, yeah, the Daily Show. Jon Stewart made the joke about that. That like, hey, you do know you have 2 more months left, right? And
Yeah. January, in January you get to the.
but Eric Adams says a lot of stupid,
Yeah, he
stupid
is. Yeah,
things.
I didn't really pay that
He's
much attention.
yeah,
He's like full of shit. Just
yeah. He's an idiot, man. He's not. He reminds me of people like, and
and he came out and supported
sorry,
Cuomo
but
though. He
he
came out
reminds me
and
of
supported
people
Cuomo.
I was locked up with. Like, and
Yeah,
I'm not calling him stupid necessarily. I'm just saying like his he's not a good person. um,
yeah. He has. He came out though. Eric Adams came out and like endorsed Cuomo. Not even as he is a Democrat.
yeah,
Eric Adams is, but Trump like got all his legal stuff like
yeah.
dismissed. So like
Well,
he endorsed Cuomo, and then Trump kinda endorsed Cuomo. Not really. I mean, it was not any kind of endorsements you would actually want, but he
yeah,
was like this one. It was kind of like he was saying, okay, Cuomo is the crabs. And Mondami is syphilis. Okay, so that's kind of the way you need to look at it. I mean, it was a terrible endorsement by Trump, but it was enough probably maybe to get some people to vote for Mondami. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm hoping Mondami does good. I'm sure they're going to do everything they can to throw, um, some to disturb his attempt to try to make anything better.
Well, I think that a lot of this focus now to where the messaging out of the Democratic Party about what it is the Republicans are doing by taking money away from poor people and hungry people and all these things and giving it to the richest people in the country. I think then all the healthcare stuff. I think that the messaging is getting through to people and they're understanding and they're willing to come out and vote to prevent these rich billionaires from just controlling
Yes,
every aspect of life.
and they have tried. The Republicans have tried so hard to lay this shutdown on the Democrats, and it's not
Yeah.
working. It's still not working. It's not. The people are not buying it. I mean, no matter what
No.
they say, no matter what kind of lies they tell or whatever, there's still a majority of Americans put this on the Republicans. Mostly, I would say, some of them may not even know all the details of it, but they see that the Republicans run both houses of
And
Congress, and they have the executive branch, and they don't understand why. That But I'm proud because the public is
oh,
actually showed that they understand more than I thought they did about that. So
to be clear, I think that there's also I think Trump's trying to pull this thing where it's like you think that it's because the government shut down that these things are happening, but it's not. It's the worst of the stuff that's happening, the stuff with food stamps and all that, is directly Trump unilaterally
yeah,
him.
yeah,
Uh,
doing it to try to make the Democrats look
yeah,
bad. Like
yeah,
the reason why the judges ruled that he has to go ahead and supply money to the SNAP benefits is because that's in the original wording of the
it's a
legislation.
law. God damn it.
Yeah, it's in the legislation of when it was created that it was not to be not funded
Yeah,
during a shutdown.
I
And
mean, when
so
you have a contingency fund,
his law his
what
lawyer
does
well,
contingency mean?
it doesn't matter about the contingency fund. It's not supposed to be unfunded. Like and the
Yeah, but that's the fund.
his lawyers actually went into court and just said that Trump's administration did not want to fund
Yeah,
SNAP.
yeah. They
So
don't. They
and yeah,
they want people to suffer for as long as they're going to continue to not do capitulate to him. Like it's this thing. Speaking of capitulation, we have to talk about this CBS 60 Minutes interview. And I should have brought some clips of this thing, but it's the mainstream media. Uh,
I didn't watch it.
I'm trying to get the right words because I was gonna say something very vulgar about him, but the mainstream media is horrible. Like it has CBS sits there and they're like Trump pardoned this fucking idiot that made him $1 billion in crypto,
He don't even
and
know who he is. He said,
yeah, says he doesn't even know who he is. At the same time, Joe Biden's using auto pen to pardon people he don't even know who he pardoned. And Trump's like, hold on, wait for it. I don't know anything about him. Don't know who he is. Bullshit. He made you $1 billion and you don't know his name. Is that what you're gonna say? Somebody put $1 billion in your bank account and you don't know who the fuck they are?
"Well, he probably
Like,
can't. Yeah. Well, I mean, he don't know who. He never did know Jeffrey Epstein either. So,
right? Well, like.
I mean,
Do you really? How do you really know anybody?
but I'm
Right?
not. I didn't watch the 60 Minutes interview because, first of all, I have no hatred enough for myself to sit and listen to Trump for 1 hour.
They edited
I
the
talk.
fuck out of it.
I know, but you can actually watch the unredacted.
I did. I
Video.
watched both.
But I'm not going to sit through it. Like the only time I tolerate any Trump, like you sometimes put some shits, some clips on here, and Jon Stewart puts clips, a little few clips, and maybe sometimes the Bulwark, but most time the Bulwark don't because so many people complain about how they'll read off what he says instead of actually playing this clip. So I can't because I don't want to hear his voice. Really, it's like my voice is his voice is even worse than listening to my own. So
I agree. I think that here's the thing for me though. I don't usually like to listen to Trump directly. Like I'll watch coverage of the stupid things he said, so I don't have to hear everything he said, because a lot of it is ding dong boing and I
Yeah,
can't say that women are beautiful because you lose your job, and like that kind of crazy bullshit, right? So
yeah,
like
like
outside of the crazy babbling shit he does, like I'll watch some of the coverage of it and stuff, and then I'll go back and maybe I'll watch a little more of that clip to make sure that I'm not taking something out of context. But with Trump right now, um, here's the thing: as atheists, this part of the atheist, hey, I got one just like that. Is that
I
blue
was showing
raspberry?
London asked what was I was vaping, so
What flavor is that? Blue raspberry?
no, it's blackberry pop.
Really?
Yeah, and I had like 30 of them in my closet.
I love the lemon heads flavor of that one. That's my favorite.
This is my favorite right here, but
But
yeah.
never heard of Geek Bar? Yeah, they go by different names. They license that out to everybody. There's ones. I've got one that says Lulu on it. That's that exact same thing. But
Lulu. Anyway,
anyway,
yeah, he has. I mean, Trump probably owns the top 10
well,
of the dumbest things that have ever been said on
oh
TV.
sure.
So he probably owns all 10 of those spots. Um, but like, I just don't want to hear. I don't. I mean, like, he just lies. He just says stuff that's just pisses me off, and I just saw, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care what he says. I just don't care what he says. I think it's sad that 60 Minutes, like, bent the knee to him and everything. But I'm just glad that the country has finally started, except for his most loyal, faithful followers. The rest of the country seems to have woke up out of their sturmer and have said, the ones that had any sense at all have said, hey, this piece of shit is not
Well, here's the thing.
not worth listening to.
So whenever we talk about violence, first of all, like this particular area of the atheist community. Now, there are, and I point this out often. There are atheists out there that are not good people. Like there is
Oh yeah,
a
yeah,
being an atheist doesn't mean that you automatically absorb all these other positions and stuff. Although that's sometimes implied, but for the most part, both sides of the atheist community are pretty much like, let's not do violence. Let's try and be nonviolent. That seems to be, you know, I think whenever you come to the realization that like the harms that religion does, it leaves this bad taste in your mouth to where
yeah.
you're like, I don't want to see more people hurt.
We can't run around and advocate for violence and then complain about the violence that anyone else commits.
Right, right. They do and say awful things, but I will say, for the most part, it's not common to find atheists who promote violence. Right, like some do. I mean, obviously, but I see like at what point do you call something violence though? Because I think purposely starving 40 million Americans is violent. I mean, I think that is an act of violence. I think that we are directly under attack, and everybody
Yeah,
wants like
but we need to remember that not we can't blame. I don't blame Republican voters for what he's doing with the food stamp.
no, no. I think
I mean,
MAGA's a call,
yeah,
but
there are like bots on Facebook and stuff like that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think that is something that we can. So we got to just keep remember that what everything Trump is doing. Not all the people that voted for him did vote for
No,
that.
no, but there is a concentrated cult of MAGA that does.
Well, and
That
there's bots though. There's a lot of
I,
bots.
I can go. I mean, I can pull up my Facebook right now, and I guarantee you there are local people on there
Yeah.
saying that they want to see everybody lose food stamps.
Well, they want they go through that all that all those dog whistles about get all
Yeah,
the
but
people off
they
of it that don't deserve it, or the ones that the women. I actually had, and I'm not going to say his name, but in Discord the other day on one of my favorite Discord channels. I had a guy that was talking about women having a bunch of kids so they could get more food stamps and stuff. And like, I kind of lost it in there. I was like, this is right wing, like Ronald Reagan talking points, and I mean the welfare queens and all that stuff, and like I couldn't get him to
Well,
understand. And he was like talking about working at a gas station and having people come in there and spend their food stamps at the gas station, and I said, yeah. But that's a biased sample that you have because you just worked in a gas station and saw people who would, if they came in there and bought food with their food stamps all the time, they were people who were abusing the system maybe. But if you worked in a grocery store and watched someone
I
come
think
in who had 10 kids and was trying to stretch their stamps out to feed their family every month, then you might see people who were trying to do what they could the best with what they had. So like and I couldn't make him understand that working in a gas station gave him a biased sample about what.
yeah. So I want to read what Ember said here and comment a bit on this. I blame them. They listened to what he said and wanted to do. They know all of this was coming. Either they didn't pay attention or they intended this. Either way, they're fault. And the thing that I've said since the beginning is accountability is coming for you, motherfuckers, for real. Like this is you are not going to be viewed very well historically with this. That you wanted to starve millions of Americans. That's it's not going to go well. Now, not every person who voted Republican necessarily wanted these things, and those people have moved away. But at the end of the day, um, I know that my channel's small and doesn't have a lot of reach to people. I mean, we've got 30 people watching, which is really a busy show for me. The the uh, the fact of the matter is, though, is that us and every other left leaning podcaster and everything, uh, legacy media even got in on some of explaining what it was that Trump was doing, what Project 2025 was, what they were going to do, the things they were trying to do, and that's what they've done. So I don't really accept that they didn't know and didn't want all of this, and they definitely wanted bad things for anyone who didn't agree with them.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not saying, but I don't think like doing things like cutting the food stamps to all
Well,
Americans is, especially like like I mean veterans, um,
yeah.
and
Well, they didn't run on. They ran on scapegoating minorities and marginalized people
yeah, I know.
because they knew that they didn't have the ability to effectively
But I
fight back.
mean, the same thing always like they always do that pretty much,
And,
and
right.
but they never like withheld food stamps.
I don't think they've always done it with quite so much bigotry and
They've
hate.
done it with quite
No,
several,
no, I agree.
several
They've
yeah.
they've tried to keep black people from voting for the last 40 years. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
like,
they do it dog whistly, like
oh right, they
that,
they have
that
to.
like
They
felons from that's one thing they preventing felons because black people are arrested at far higher rates because of the way they police their areas and they over penalize them for crimes and stuff. Then
Well,
they
I'm not feeling very motherfucking forgiving today, Robin. So
I know, but I mean, I live in a deep red county, and yeah, and there's still some of them that are just assholes. Just a lot
listen,
of
I don't care to get on here and admit that my family gets food stamps and that like that's how I feed my kid and all that shit. Like I don't I don't care to get on here and say those things. Um,
Well, I mean, I am too right now because I'm on. I've worked all my life and paid in taxes and never did need to draw them, so I never had them. And now I have them because waiting for my disability, I'm not getting income, and of course now that I need them, they're gone. But
yeah,
but I actually had like I have a deep freeze, so I had planned not really to run out of them, but I don't I don't spend all mine every month so on eating. So I've got food stored up, and so I didn't even go to the commodities place this week because
Well,
there's people that need to come in there that are probably going to need the commodities worse than me. So,
well, I recently had to like start over on things, and so the I don't have that backup of all that shit, and this has been a scary time for what's going to go on. But that being said, I don't know if they expect that people like me and others across this country are going to sit and watch their kids starve because so they can push political positions and build ballrooms and all this other fucking stupid shit they're doing. But it's not going to happen. I can promise you that. This will not. If they continue this trying to starve people shit, it will not go unpunished.
well, I think that no, what I think that some Republicans, like my parents and stuff, were like really thinking that Trump was going to go in there and cut the waste. I don't know
If,
why they still believed him, but then they see him tearing down the White House and building this big ballroom, and they see him sending, like starting, like trying to start a war with Venezuela, um, and all this, and sending all this money to other countries when they're saying that we are, so far in debt. And I mean, I think it's just, he's showing. I think he's really, really got a lot of nerve. Like he acted like that he was in power completely, that to where nothing could change. And I think that he just didn't realize that eventually he's not going. I mean, he's going to. Eventually, some of these people are going to finally break up. You can eventually do enough to wake some people up, um, and then he's like the Democrats. I think a lot of Democrats stayed home in that last election. We know that in 2024. We know that a lot of Democrats stayed home. They were either
yeah,
I don't know what they were. They were disillusioned with the fact that Kamala was the candidate and all that stuff. Which I think was totally baseless on. But they were just disillusioned about all of it, and so
so
they just stayed home. And they realize now that right there,
hurt
no matter
them.
how disillusioned they were, has produced massive, you
Yeah,
know, problems in our country. And so I think that maybe I think the people the Democrats needed to be woke up and
yeah,
realize how bad, how one person can be, when you try to decide between two people you don't like, how one person can be significantly worse than the other.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, like
I,
there is a lesser evil. There is a
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. Jester, $5 super chat. Was the gas station far from town? Because Snap doesn't pay for gas, and you go where you can afford to get to.
That's what I
And
said. I said
yeah,
they lived in. I said, first of all, did y'all live in an area that was like a food desert? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, and then, but like educate. I mean, I just went on a whole diatribe
Well,
about teaching sex education, and that's why a lot of these girls have a lot of kids because they don't get proper sex education, access to birth control, access to reproductive
yeah,
care.
right.
You know what I mean, and all that education, and so anyway, it was just a whole diatribe. But it was weird hearing it come from someone that I thought was kind of like aligned with my thinking because this person is an atheist, but
Yeah.
obviously, I don't think they're an atheist out of critical thinking skills. Maybe,
Thanks for the super chat, Jester. I really appreciate that. The Yeah, no, I get it, and
or
and
maybe not a humanist. Maybe they're
I
not. It's not humanist.
I understand there's a nuanced conversation to have. Like, if we talk about like individual people or individual places, like there is a larger nuanced conversation to have in each of those contexts. But also, like we're kind of used to having conversations about populations too, right? And you know that, and that's kind of where I'm looking at it from is backed way out, because where I live, everybody was already poor and struggling and all that shit anyway. Like, this area is decimated by drugs and poverty, and there's no jobs here. The jobs that were here are gone, long gone. Like, so I already experienced that here. I try to, though, whenever I think about these things, consider the bigger picture of how it affects people in all places. Because if you're not, for people like me, that I'm going to survive, we will survive one way or another. Like, it may come down to having to make some hard choices and do some things that we wouldn't normally do.
You know
But
how
we're
to steal meat, don't you?
I know how to steal a motherfucking steak, though. So, uh, they banned me from every Walmart in the U.S. and Japan, though. So, or U.S. and Tokyo.
In Japan, what?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I don't know why they included that, but that's the way it reads.
That is so funny. In Japan,
Don't be thinking about taking your Kentucky ass to Japan and stealing meat.
I
Okay,
didn't know Japan had WalMarts.
I didn't either, but they probably don't. Um, the uh, any Walmart property, but the Tokyo,
Jim Joe PC said.
yeah. I like to fuck up big, you know. We ain't,
That is so funny.
if I'm not facing international sanctions, you know, is it really worth it?
But y'all,
But
if it gets bad enough, y'all can come to my house. I have a deep freeze full of meat because I don't cook. So
you wake up in that bitch.
I buy food every month like I cook, and then I don't cook. So I kind of got it stored up a little bit.
Let me explain something too. Even though like I was a junkie drug addict who was like stealing meat to sell it to people to buy heroin or whatever. Like, even though that's the story, really. Like, I didn't steal from individual people. Like, I wasn't like stealing lawn furniture or anything, you know, like um I was stealing from corporations
Lawn
and
furniture.
I stole from the man.
I know a guy that used to steal lawn furniture from like
Oh, I know a bunch of people
or
that did it.
whatever, Lowe's and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I never had like I don't know, like I would never make it out of the store without having it just rolled on my face. I'm stealing right now. I mean,
So,
that's
well,
not just
no,
but he used to just load up stuff on
yeah,
a cart and
yeah.
like push it out just like he had every right to do so. Go
That's
there,
how you
load
do it.
the car, and
That,
then leave with it. And I was like,
that's the
you know,
method.
big TVs and
Yeah.
like I remember though the lawn furniture is what reminded me because he came to my house one time after he did that, and he had like this whole patio set in his car, and he told me that he just loaded it up. I mean, like he just loaded it up in his Durango or whatever it was. One of those or Ford or whatever it was, but it was like a SUV sort of thing. You know, he had a table and chairs and an umbrella and all kinds of cushions and I was like, what? Yeah. So yeah, but no, I would have. You know, I would not. Like it'd be rolling all over my face. I couldn't do it.
Now, see, I learned in Lowe's that you could fit 8 50-pound bags of grass seed on one buggy.
And see who's. I mean, like
That,
who would think that people are stealing grass seed?
but it's easy to return because contractors come and buy that stuff and they bring it back like that, and it's they give you a gift. It's easy to return.
You know, like in Kentucky, like in my part of Kentucky, everybody was stealing lithium batteries and stuff like that.
No, that was going on too, very much so. I mean, like, I've shook a pop bottle before, you know, like the you know, but the grass seed was $50 back, so you could go in and you get a gift card for $424, and then I would take that gift card either and sell it to someone who would buy it at a high rate, or to the pawn shop that would give me 50% for it. So there's $212 in my pocket that I didn't have.
By stealing grass seed.
Yeah. They had this
And it
electronic
probably wasn't under like strict surveillance.
Well, no, right.
It
Nothing
wasn't like
really is in
little
Lowe's.
dinging things.
The plumbing aisle is the only area that has like extra cameras in the Lowe's here, but or used to. I don't know now. I don't even go in there. But you know, like that was that. A lot of that though had to do with feeding myself, but it was feeding my drug habit. Like I was. Food was, you know, like at the time it was me and Laura, and we didn't give a shit. We just ate once a week or whatever. We, you know, like we were just more worried about getting high. And unfortunately, that's what drugs do to you. They
Yeah.
make it to where it's the only thing that matters. I don't do that shit now, and don't condone it or whatever. But and I wouldn't walk in a place and steal anything now. I'm scared. I wouldn't do it. I've been clean for over a decade, and I've been you know, I just things changed, and I've had a different outlook on a number of things. So while I joke and tell these stories about that, I'm not saying that it's okay to do that. I'm not trying to romanticize it.
Yeah.
It's a horrible, horrible life to live.
Yeah. Aunt Jur said some hardware stores have resident cats. They see everything. They'll fuck you up.
The
Love that. Okay. Who is the electronic Boy Scout? I know. Is that Justin?
that's Justin.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to be Yahoo Hooligan.
Yeah. He's
Electronic
still,
Boy Scout was actually still his
he
thing.
goes by Yahoo Logan still. Okay. I thought it was. I was thinking it was. So.
Yeah. They but they had this dog collar thing, right? An electronic dog collar. That I think it was for barking. I'm not sure, but they only had one of them. It was $150, and it was just a box, like, you know, like
Oh my
12 inch by 6 inch box. And I opened it up and got the thing out and tore the security tag out of it so I could take it out the door. And when I returned it, they were like, "Hey, we haven't sold one of these in like 3 years. How are you returning this item?" And they still let me return it. Well, we knew that they weren't selling it and they only had the one, so we stole that motherfucker 3 times that week and took it back. And they'd keep putting it back on the shelf, and we'd keep taking it. But that's the levels of stupidity we were willing to achieve.
Yeah, I think they must just been letting you get where I was at. I was like,
I don't think they were letting me do anything, but but the
well, I mean, like I don't know, like the package is tore up and you're stealing it, and I don't know. It just yeah.
well, we had well, no, it wasn't torn up. It was just it just didn't have a thing in it. I put it back.
Okay.
Yeah, the there for a while we were like stealing like those refrigerator water filters from Walmart, because they're like $50 a piece and they're small and easy to conceal. And um, we had there for a long time. It was like $700 every day of the week from Walmart, sometimes twice a day. Um, it was crazy.
There's never been nothing on the shelf. That's what I always said. There's nothing on the shelf that, like in Walmart or anywhere, that I've been willing to go to jail for. That's the. I mean, like, I just I've done some
Well,
illegal things. I've done a lot of illegal things in my lifetime, but um, and if maybe they had started selling those illegal things that I was fond of, then maybe I would have stole something. But like that was one of the, there was only a few things I ever kind of considered worth going to jail for, and they probably weren't, but I thought so. But
I'm not,
yeah.
although I joke and laugh, I'm not proud of this stuff.
No, I know that, and I'm not shaming you in any way. I'm just saying though that it's always just the deterrent of going to jail. So I guess like you know. Do I want to go to jail for this? No. Do I
Well,
think it's bad enough? No. And
so there's this argument that a number of theists make, a philosophical argument about um, if you don't accept objective morality and stuff, then you're an atheist. Nothing matters to you, right? That's what they're driving at. You're an atheist, so why do you care like about anything? You don't care about right and wrong and all this other stuff. They try to paint us as an immoral group of heathens But the to be quite honest with you, not atheism. Atheism's the thing that really, whenever I was getting off drugs and stuff, it was the wonders of the world that made me want to do better.
Yes.
But with the drugs, it's a little different. With the drugs, it was I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck. Like, if you're gonna catch me, and we'll see what happens then. Like, um, I didn't give a shit. Like, and the there's I've referred to this guy before, but Gabor Mate is a French neuroscientist, and he he talks about the actual physical changes that take place in the brain because of addiction, and explains it goes very in depth of why uh, addiction is considered now a disease. Um,
Well, it
because
should be. It should be because it's like first of all, we have we have certain like predispositions that are like genetically sometimes
sure,
inherited.
sure.
Um, yeah, and and it alters our brain chemistry, and it's not something that you just make a choice. Once you get addicted, you don't make that choice anymore.
No, right, and
Your body has.
it physically changes structures in your brain. And Gabor Mate, look him up if you're interested in that. It he gives this. I'll have to find a link. I'll put it in the description later, or pin it in a comment if anybody's interested, because it is really excellent stuff. I know that this isn't really the subject of this show and all that, but it's one of the things that I've spent a lot of time talking about and trying to help other people. And also, if you or someone else is struggling with this stuff and you need somebody to talk to, you can call the National Crisis Hotline 988.
Yeah, Joe. Because Joe, actually, you do stuff for, like talking to ex. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe is a good. Yeah, get with Joe if you ever have a problem because he understands. He wouldn't judge you, and he can point you in the resources that you need to
The,
go.
the, the weird thing with that stuff is you get people who don't realize, like, oh, hey, my brother or my family member is addicted. What can where can we send them, what can we do, and all that stuff. And it doesn't work like that. It has to be like, you have to want to talk to someone and get some help. And
Okay, I was getting ready to smack old John, and never said, "Okay." I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
That's
I,
funny.
yeah, I was getting ready to like pop it to him.
I,
Anyway, look, can we go back? All right.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so in case anybody didn't know, anybody was been like off the planet for a day or two. We won New York City mayor. We won the governor of Virginia. She's the first female governor ever elected in the state of Virginia. Um, she won by a bunch. New Jersey, we got the what was it? Was it the governor of New Jersey too? Mikey Sherrill. Is that
Yeah,
was it
yeah.
Mikey Sherrill? Um, like I said, in Georgia, we flipped two seats to Democrats on the commission, the energy commission or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Whatever the fuck that place is
there
called.
was some state Supreme Court seats, and I can't remember what state they were in that retained Democratic, you know, majority, and one state flipped their state supermajority from Republican to Democrat. Now, what state was that? Does anybody know? Because I'm drawing a blank and I don't have any notes up here.
I
Um,
don't remember
but
either.
there was one state that actually flipped their. I was thinking it was a northern state, but um, I was thinking that there was. I mean, I know there is. There's one state
Was
that.
it Virginia? I know Virginia elected Democrat, but was
But I mean,
Virginia the one that flipped?
Virginia has been sort of purple.
like us.
Anyway, like they're even more purple than Kentucky is, I think.
Yeah.
But one of them, they also not only, but they flipped. They had a supermajority red state, um, government, and they actually flipped it to Democrat now majority. I don't think it's a supermajority in Democrats, but it actually is a majority. And Pennsylvania's Downington even elected a trans mayor, Erica Dueso. Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's really the thing too. Is what we've seen is not just these big Democratic people like Mom Donnie and I probably said that wrong. Sorry, but not just these Democratic candidates, but down the ticket Democrats were elected overwhelmingly. It was an excellent election for the Democrats, and yeah, so.
Yes, which is good
I
news.
forgot. I've got a second show today. I'm doing another show today too.
Oh, I didn't know. So you want to get off here?
No. I was just looking at the chat and something reminded me of it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing a show with Austin Sims at 4:30. So
Oh, I love Austin.
yeah, he's going to teach me some of the stuff that I don't know about endogenous retroviruses and the argument. As that goes, because it's an area that I know like the basics of the argument and I understand why it's a problem, but I'm not really as informed on it as I need to be. So we're going to start there, and I figured since I'm going to learn it, it would be an opportunity for other people to come learn about it too. So if you're interested in learning about ERVs, join us at 4:30. It'll be fun. Sorry, I changed the subject.
Austin here? Is Austin here?
I don't think so. I think he's at work. That's
why I love Austin. He is.
Yeah,
he's really nice.
Yeah, Austin. We got the opportunity to meet Austin down at the art protest, and yeah, awesome dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he's really good at test taking.
I'm going to read this whole 3-message thing that PC sent here.
Yes.
Abigail Spangberger
Thank you,
and
PC.
Mikey Sherrill hit double-digit victories in Virginia and New Jersey. 2 Georgia Democrats flipped seats on the state's Public Service Commission, the first non-federal statewide wins for a Democrat in nearly 2 decades.
In Georgia.
Democrats flipped a pair of Republican-held state Senate seats in Mississippi, cracking the GOP supermajority in a deep red state. Hell yeah.
Okay, it was Mississippi. Yeah.
Last one. California ballot measure delivered 5 additional seats for the party's House margins ahead of the 2026 midterms, offsetting Texas redistricting push. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll ask PC this: does Mississippi still retain a majority Republican Senate, or did it break the majority, or did it just break the supermajority?
Yeah. Did it flip the whole state, or just that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have a super majority too in Republican. I mean, like where they can in a state, because where they can, they can just they can override every veto that our governor does. Like when we had, Andy Beshear did an executive order that banned conversion therapy.
Yeah.
Okay. And, and as soon as they come back, which our state, legislation isn't in session all the time. So as soon as they came back into session, they not only passed a law reinstating the ability to use conversion therapy, but sort of protecting it in law to where no other governor could come in and do the executive order again. And of course, then our governor vetoed that legislation. And because we had a supermajority, they could override his veto. They had enough people to override his veto, which is it's really hard when that happens, because they've done the same thing with the transgender gender affirming care here. That's why I love Andy Bashir, y'all. I know he's a Christian, and a lot of atheists kind of balk on how much he talks about religion, but he
He's a
votes.
very religious person.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he votes for very, very, very like the same things
Correct.
we do. He has our values. He may not have our beliefs, but he has our values, and
He
he and he does it at the chance of his own. Like he voted against the gender affirming care ban right before his last election. Like it was right in the middle of that election period. And he
yeah.
was already like getting attacked, for like, oh, he's for mutilating kids, and I mean, like I got all kinds of stuff in the mail all the time from him, and he still voted to veto that, risking his chance of reelection. He did not go moderate on that issue. He
No, he's up there with like AOC on being a progressive. He might even be a little more progressive than AOC on some issues.
Yes, I mean,
Um,
but he is just like I said. He's a Christian. He does talk about his faith a lot, um, but he uses it as my faith um, leads me to be this way, to be
yeah,
compassionate for these people, but he has all of our same values, and I hope he runs for president because that's what I'd love to see him be president.
I think that yeah, I think that he would be a good one to run. I mean, they I think it's really going to be important to run somebody that's younger. And look, I mean, we there's there are valid arguments for why Kamala didn't do well, right? Like as far as being a woman and being a brown woman
But I
and
think that she did, and I was wrong about that. I think she turned too much towards the. I think that a lot of Democrats wanted somebody who was a little more like a little less like the Republicans, and
yeah,
I think her embrace of. I mean, I was probably wrong about it too. Like her embrace of um, Liz Cheney, and stuff, didn't win her any fans with the with the Republicans or the Democrats. But I want to say something else too that I want to mention. I don't know why everybody's probably heard that Dick Cheney died this week. He was 84 years old, and of course we think of him quite a bit as a monster for the torture that he performed
yeah,
during the Iraq War. But for a good thing, couple good things for Dick Cheney, just in case anybody did not know, he was actually a big ally for gay marriage.
yeah,
His daughter is a lesbian, and he came out and actually convinced Liz to actually support the gay marriage too, which went through their House of Representatives and stuff and got wrote into law. He's actually the one that convinced Liz to change her mind on that. So like he was a very surprising ally for the queer community, and he also despised Trump. He came out and put out an ad about Trump before the election, trying to get people to turn away from him. So he said he was the most dangerous person that has probably ever in American history. So
so and here is, as I said, there is that there is a valid argument there, and with what Maya's saying, this Maya is saying this is about bigotry, and I think that was definitely one aspect of things. The
yeah, one thing about Cheney is I was kind of always hoping that he would take Trump hunting. That's what I always said. Maybe he'll take him hunting.
yeah, yeah.
Dick Cheney
Can
did shoot a guy in the face while hunting one time. So,
you imagine getting shot in the face with birdshot? That would suck.
but I mean, I
Um,
always was like, maybe he'll take Trump hunting. That's what I always was.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The but the reason that I brought up that about the like there is this reasoning behind why Kamala wasn't elected. That whatever your position is on it, but I think that's definitely influenced it. The and I don't I don't know that. I think obviously that this shows that people are willing to not only vote for Democrats but against Republicans too, um,
Yeah,
and Andy Bashir is a Christian white guy, and I'm not saying that they necessarily have to run a Christian white guy, but it's gonna be disappointing to a lot of people whenever um, whoever it is.
I just wanted everybody to know though that he is not a moderate. Like he is not.
Yeah, yeah, no,
He is not a person that that shows that he will, um,
right,
he will give on his values. Like he
yeah,
doesn't like that is not he's not going to bend over just to try to
um,
make
yeah,
friends with that bunch. And
and that was the point. Is I wouldn't support him just because of that. Like it's not. Although I think there's a strategic argument there because of some of that stuff that went on. That's not why with this gentleman. He really is very progressive and wants to do good things.
and he's yes, he's been good for Kentucky. Like he's um
Yeah,
in spite of all of this right here, and he has fought. He has also went to like he is our attorney general is a Republican.
yeah,
Okay, he's a Democrat, and our attorney, but we are involved in every one of those court cases. If you look at all the court cases of what states are suing the Trump administration, Kentucky's on every list.
yeah,
And one of the reasons why Kentucky's on that list is because Andy was our attorney general before he got elected governor. And so he is moonlighting not only as governor of Kentucky, but as attorney general doing those cases because our attorney general, I guess, for whatever reason I haven't really heard, is not leading those things. But he's not. I don't think he's interfering with them either. Like I don't think he's actively trying to stop Andy from bringing those cases, but he's
no,
attached to them, um, which shows sort of spineless sort of thing. But he's following what his party. But actually, so Andy is actually leading the attorney general's office on those cases, other than just doing the governor
right,
of Kentucky.
yeah,
And he does something every day with stuff. Like right now, we've had that bad plane crash. He's been up there visiting that. We've had all kinds of natural disasters this year that have kept him busy, busy, busy. And yeah,
Kentucky's
I do like my governor.
had a rough year.
And like I'm yes, I'm totally pushing Andy for president.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll run or not. I'm not sure. It's
Well,
kind of
he might run for. We also have Mitch McConnell's seat that will be coming up empty at the next Senate election too.
which
So a lot of
won't
people
go.
would like to see him run that because they don't think that the Democratic National Committee will let a Kentucky governor actually get
Well,
the nomination.
I think that we're seeing people like the whole Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking out against the administration, or at least against what's going on in the House, um, is very telling because you have the most extreme people who have always been. She was always the most extreme of the right, and she's still being the most extreme of the right from their perspective, anyway. Um, by talking about this. And Thomas Massey, a Republican from Kentucky,
Yes.
has been very, very vocal about the Epstein files and making it clear that this is the Epstein shutdown. That's what this is.
Yeah. Which Thomas Massey is like a libertarian. He's
Yeah.
sort of like a Rand Paul type Republican.
And Rand Paul's been vocal too,
Yeah. And so
as big a piece of shit as
you
that
know
guy is.
I know, but he is something. But I mean, like there are certain principles that I mean, like Rand Paul is really anti-science and stuff, and just like he's, he kind of, I don't know, yeah, I've had very few times where I had any reason to give them any praise at all, anybody, any of our elected people. 'Cause
Yeah.
mine's Brett Guthrie, who is a Trump bootlegger or bootlegger from my representative, and then of course Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul. I mean, like Mitch McConnell is probably the most hated man on both sides, both parties,
Yeah.
and um, but yeah, Thomas Massey is doing good. If I would probably vote for Thomas Massey if I could be in his area, I could vote for him because I love what he's done. And really surprising thing too is another thing is like two of the other women that are supporting the Epstein thing are two of the most vile women in Congress, Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That.
what has surprised me is that none of them have removed their name from the resolution yet, because I know they're all three probably or all four getting
A
pressure
lot of
in the
pressure. Yeah.
Republican Party.
And a lot of promises.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I know that Thomas Massey is, because he's come out and said it about it, and like
Well,
Trump has already said he's going to primary him and everything, and so I'm sure they're attacking the women, and of course Nancy Mace, I think she's probably the most hateful human being in Congress. Um, she is repeated. So but a broken clock is right. Twice a day,
yeah.
something like that.
Well,
Sun's on
and
dog's
this
ass
is
once a day or something like that. So yeah,
that's something I want to be clear about too. Like, this shows the ability to use critical thinking and the ability to hear the nuance, right? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene is an awful person. She has done awful, horrible things that has hurt uh, lots and lots and lots of people who didn't deserve it in any way. Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't deserve to be let off the hook for that just because she started making sense all of a sudden on one topic.
yeah, PC. I'm not giving them props. I said I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'm kind of shocked. I'm not giving them any props.
right.
Yeah,
No, I didn't think you were. I just wanted to be clear that
yeah.
just because I'm speaking of Marjorie Taylor Greene
Well,
making
we already
sense,
talked about
not
Marjorie Taylor
forget.
Greene, because I feel like she's saying something about the um, the insurance, the ACA stuff, because her children are going to be affected.
Yeah,
Like we already talked about
right.
that.
It,
Like
it's
when
it.
when
This
it
is that accountability that I said was coming for them,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because then it starts affecting them and their children, and now all of a sudden, oh no! And this is the difference, right? Because we can agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on these things and still say what a horrible person she is,
yeah.
and she can also still speak out against these things that we agree on
And it
and
helps
be a
our
horrible
case.
person.
Yeah, and
Right?
but it helps us because it does convince some of her people. Like
Well, it
and
shows
then of
that you're
course,
being
like
reasonable.
she's
Like,
against the Gaza war, and I understand that. But
yeah,
she's
but
against it
why?
for a totally wrong. I mean, like she's
Yeah,
just against it. It's not because she cares about brown children dying. It's because
yeah,
she hates Jews,
yeah,
and so like so yeah. But they're helping us somewhat anyway. Like
yeah.
like we don't have to thank them. I don't think.
No, no, no. We don't. We don't. You don't owe Marjorie Taylor Greene your vote, or if you're in Georgia or whatever. I think she's going to try and run for fucking president. Honestly,
Well, see, she wanted
she's
to run.
playing the middle hard.
The reason why she's turned against Trump is because she wanted to run for senator
Yeah,
in the last Georgia senator election,
she
and
thought she was going to
Trump
get.
would not endorse her. He
Yeah,
endorsed what's his name, the football player, um,
the vampire guy.
the one that ran against um,
Brr, 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 brr.
Warnock, the one that ran against Warnock.
What was his name?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's awesome that we don't remember his name. You know that he don't deserve to have his name
yeah,
remembered.
I can't think of it. I can't remember nobody's name anymore. Since my stroke, like I lose names, words, everything. But
Yeah,
I'm sure PC can tell us in just a minute who it was. But um, yeah, they were.
Ter- ter-
She
ter-
wanted she wanted to run against. She wanted to run for senator, um, against Warnock, because Warnock got elected. And Herschel Walker, thank you, trees.
Oh, Herschel.
Yeah, Herschel Walker. The sex. I mean, like what gets me is like the number of sex offenders, like rapists and supposed alleged children diddlers that are in this administration is just vile.
Yeah, I agree. Um, but it's like people, even on the right, some people are waking up, whether it's the issue of insurance or starving people, or it's the Epstein files. There's all these issues that the right is on a very, very bad side of. And Mike Johnson, the Republican Speaker of the House, has had nothing to say other than I don't know about that. I don't know. He doesn't know shit. Like he says that they're working 24/7 on trying
They're
to.
not even in town.
Yeah, they gavelled out for the next week, and they'll probably gavel out for another month or so, and they're refusing to even speak to Democrats or anything. So how is it that he's working on this by not being in session? Adelita Grajova has still not been sworn in because she will
But they
affect.
are they did they have filed a suit though, like
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
force it. But all I mean, I think if anything, our judicial system. I know we're mad at the Supreme Court. They have allowed, but lower judges have held the line
yeah,
mostly. Yeah,
yeah.
even though the Supreme Court has overruled them. I mean, even Trump appointed just judges
Well,
have ruled with the Constitution against him, and so
yeah.
like, at the end of this, I've always said since all this really got like going, I have always said that the one who saves us until we can vote our way out of this mess will be the legal system, the judges. That that
That's.
that's
I
that's
mean, that's the way it's supposed to work.
That's the only guardrail we have right now
Yeah,
because
that's
Congress, because Congress though we would have Congress. If we had a functional democracy, we would have a Republican led both houses of Republican led Congress would still not be allowing Trump to take power from them and break
yeah,
the law, and
yeah.
that's the way it should be. But the judges are the only hold that is like hanging on, and so yeah, I'm hoping they can just. But we have to get out and vote our way out of this too.
Well,
We cannot depend on them to do this for forever.
so Trump said some scary stuff at the podium the other day in a press conference. He said that he was talking about having the Democrats or the Republicans vote out the filibuster in the Senate, and he said, I'm gonna try and get this right, but what he said was that if they do away with the filibuster, Democrats will never take power again. And then he kind of corrected himself and was like, they most likely won't, or whatever the fuck he said. But like what he's saying is this is how we take over completely, and
The
he
senators,
doesn't have the votes.
yeah, but
Uh,
the senators and the Republican senators um, have used the filibuster way more than the Democrats have. Like that is a Republican thing right there.
right,
That is
right.
one of their tactics, and they're not going to get rid of the
they
filibuster.
they don't have the votes to get rid of
No,
it.
they got
And,
they
and
got they got to be able to defeat the filibuster to overthrow the filibuster.
yeah, if they did,
Yeah,
if they did have the votes, it would I mean it would allow them to pass a lot of crazy shit. But the Senate doesn't seem to be completely on board with all of Trump's crazy shit. And most importantly, this election shows that Trump doesn't carry the influence that he
that's
once
right.
did.
And so their seats, like 1/3 the next election we have, national election, every seat in the House of Representatives is up for reelection. 1/3 of the Senate is up for reelection. I mean, like, so because every 2 years, the representatives have to run again. So every seat, how many ever is 400 and whatever it is up for reelection, and then 1/3 of the Senate comes up every national election because there are 6 years. So 1/3, and that's like I said, that's McConnell in our state.
Yeah, yeah.
1/3 of the Senate is going to be coming up. I don't know who else. I don't know what other senators. I think like Ted Cruz. I think he's already had his reelection. What, like maybe 4 years.
Yeah, he
So I'm not
somehow
sure which particular.
he barely won, but he won.
Yeah, I'm not sure which exact senators are on the chopping block this time.
A whole bunch of them though. But
Yeah, but and then like McConnell is actually retiring. But
well, if these, I'm going to give it a big if, because I'm of the personal opinion that those elections are not going to take place. That Trump will declare martial law in Democratic cities and cancel voting. I'm
not going to say that because I don't want to. Like, I don't want people to think that that's. I mean,
well,
like,
I mean, he said it, so
I know he says a lot of things, but like, like that's kind of makes it just like hopeless.
well, no,
I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be hopeless.
Here's the thing: I don't want you to be hopeless about that. I want you to look at that and start formulating what it is needs to happen to prevent that. To
But
push
what
back
can we
against that.
like? What kind of like?
Because
We can't do anything about that. Like if he
well,
does that, there's nothing we can do. We can't do anything but
there
violence.
is
And I'm
it's
not
the thing that
prepared
we've
for that.
needed to be doing the whole time is
Get
defending
free.
this country. The Unfortunately, and I don't speak on Robin's behalf. Okay, a lot of my views on this are a lot more extreme than Robin's, and I admit that. And I know that it's steeped in conspiracy, and like I'm not. I'm not confused about that in any way. I understand that this isn't a guaranteed
He would
thing.
love to do that. Yes.
That it's
I'm
me.
just
It's
not
me
going to say
looking
that.
at the worst outcome, right?
Yeah.
But with Donald Trump, I feel like we need to be prepared for the worst outcomes, because that's generally what happens. In fact, it usually goes worse than the worst I can think of.
Be
So
prepared for the worst, but fight for the best.
sure. And when Trump says that he's training that these troops are being trained and all this stuff in these cities, um, they're going in and they're going in and they're acting like there's violence that's not going on in order to do other things. And
Yeah.
so I feel like that's kind of where that leads.
But I want to say the people aren't buying it though. That's what I'm saying. Like we shot
It doesn't matter.
I know, but he's
The MAGA cult is buying it, and they're violent.
yeah, but the cracks are showing in like the cracks are showing. There's cracks coming. We had no cracks forever in his, no matter what he did, and there are cracks now.
No, I agree. This election is a step in the right direction, and it's what we need.
And
I agree.
the more he pushes to the right with extreme actions that go against the public, opinion, the worse that's going to be for him, because that's going to spill over. And like we
Well,
watched the No Kings rally. I mean, yeah, so we see the public eventually. If the public gets to where they are not fault, like you know like he's had pretty good poll numbers, like until just recently. Even not with all the stuff he was doing, there were still so many Americans who supported him, and
you sure that's fine.
now it's fallen out. I mean, now he has his lowest poll numbers, and I mean, I don't know why he has even poll numbers at all. Like they ought to be in the negative, but it is showing that more and more people who once supported him are not supporting him anymore. And
I'm getting ready to go live on a commune with trees.
But
Uh,
Teresa would be a good person to lead the commune because he knows how to make stuff
well, I mean,
and
I'm
catch
saying
stuff. And
I'm I'm just saying there might be a community of people that are already doing this in Ohio. They're very close to me.
I know.
There may be a group of people with many skills that are already coming together and doing this on a very private area that it may have already happened. I don't know.
Just make sure I think make sure what we need to do is make sure we keep, if you have Democratic senators and representatives, make sure you write them and let them know that you support them. Keep it, like, I know this food shortage is hurting us, but don't let them blame the Democrats for this because
Well,
I told mom and dad yesterday they were like, well, what do y'all think about? Because and I said I'll do without it if that's
when
what
the
it is.
riots start,
I said because it's not the Democrats are it's not their fault. It's not they're doing what we want them to do. I mean, this is what I wanted them to do.
mm,
When they had the chance to fight, I wanted them to fight, and this is the first chance they've had. They could
see,
not stop they could not block the big beautiful bill. They had no power to do that. This is the first time that they've actually had the power to step in and do anything because of the filibuster.
right,
And so that's just what I want them to do. I want them to do whatever they have to do to stop what's going on.
well, hopefully they do better than their last attempt. The
What was the
and
last attempt, though? That's what I'm saying.
the Democrats um, held power for a moment, and they didn't even attempt anything. Uh, they they
Well,
did they did next to nothing.
they have a bad habit of reaching across the aisle when they're in charge. Yes, but
Yeah,
but
they they
they've got to fight now. I
that
mean, and
this is sorry.
they've got
This
to
is
fight
what
now.
I said earlier, Trees. Sorry. This is what I said earlier, Trees. Starving people is
Yes,
violence.
but we got to remember that Trump is the one taking our food,
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
Democrats.
I remember very well. I'm just saying, when the riots start, I'll try to bring a camera. like,
I don't
like
want riots. I don't think riots help. I don't think riots help.
I, I think that they're very much called for sometimes.
I think riots would just bring out the military against us.
I don't think I think they're going to do that anyway,
Well, I
and,
mean,
and I'm going to wait for them to do that.
I'm not a fortune teller, so
I'm not either, and I'm not saying to preemptively make those decisions. I'm saying that when push comes to shove, people aren't going to sit and watch their families starve. It's just not going to happen. That is not going to be in the cards.
I
It's
know,
not
but
going to happen.
they're going to. That's what I said, though. He's been ordered to pay them, and I feel like that the public opinion has switched far enough now that
He's been ordered to pay them, and they did pay. But what has he said the whole time since? Even as recent as yesterday, after they already paid, he said they weren't paying it.
yeah,
Like
but he's going to be forced to do something. I mean, like, let's just give it. Like I said, that's not going to help us either.
I'm waiting for the
Because
outcome.
all of
I'm
us, the whole country could rise, and our military, with him being in charge of
right.
it, we have no chance against our military. Like none. It don't matter what. And so we're just going to be bringing down. You know, they have to know that, and that's not a democracy. Like that's
No,
not
I mean, look, our Constitution. We recently had this talk about the Second Amendment, right? And one of the things about the other part of the Second Amendment is the whole reason that it exists is to give you instructions on what to do with a tyrannical government, and that's where we're at. I mean, that's where we're at. We have a tyrannical government, and if they do these things, people. I mean, I'm of the opinion if you can't fight, you need to leave for your own good. I mean, like not saying I don't want you here. I'm saying like this is where that eventually leads, and I hope that it doesn't. I don't want it to, but again, it's this is one of the problems with the left is that they live in this fictional world in their head like these things aren't happening when they very much are.
okay.
Um,
I just disagree with all of that.
yes, yes. You
I think that we can get out of this with it. I think that we do need more protesting. Actually, I would like to see protests like No Kings, like the last No Kings, like every week. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that's a lot to ask people, but that is what we need. Like that right there. It like just one big show like every week. I've
And
heard Europeans say that that's the problem with our protesting. Is
and
because in Europe they just go out and protest and they stay out there till it changes instead of
and
one off.
I'm not I'm not saying go 100% from like uh the position we're at now to literally fighting back against these people. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying that the road that we're on, that's where it's going to go. It's not even a choice of the thing whether it will or won't happen. People will not sit and starve to death for them. Wait, so we can have a protest isn't enough.
But we're not.
When
We
people
don't know that
start
we're
starving,
smart. We're jumping like I don't know. I don't like the.
it's hypothetical. I'm not saying, I'm not calling anyone to action. That, I think that's where you're confused here. You think that I'm saying
I know what
that
you're saying. That's where it's headed, and
we
I
ought
don't
to do this
necessarily
thing.
think that's for sure where it's headed. I think that we do have courts and who are still fighting it, and I think that eventually, like we're supposed to get our food stamps today. Actually, is what Andy said yesterday. They were supposed to be reinstated on the 6th. I don't know if they're going to do it like they do staggered like they usually do. So I haven't checked mine, but and I think they're going to have the Republicans are pushing him. Some of them are pushing him right now because they know their seats are going to be in danger in an election. They
No,
know,
and I think this is,
and
I
they're
think,
pushing them to right now to make some concessions on
I
this.
think, I think that the recent elections and recent events are a step in a direction away from all that,
Yes,
and
yes.
that's good. I agree with you. Riots are bad. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't want that to happen. Um, I think this is a step in that way, and hopefully it continues the momentum. Hopefully, some of these MAGA people, whenever they realize that Trump can no longer save them, they quit just agreeing to every authoritarian thing he wants to do. And like you said, we see those cracks starting to appear in that. You're right. Um, I maybe my passion about the thing confuses what my position actually is. But I'm not suggesting that it's a good thing or the right thing or the positive thing. I'm just saying our little group here isn't the popular opinion on the left even. The That's not where people are, and maybe that's what they want. Now, you guys, a few have said maybe that's what they want. They will get it if they do that. They will get it. I guarantee you they will get it. 40 million people will not sit and watch their families starve. It's just a fact. And that's why I said, like, even though this isn't the best outcome, you have to be prepared for what it is that will happen. And I don't see any way around that. I don't. If they continue that way, hopefully, with some of these people and moving in the right direction, we can move away from this stuff and get to a more
Look, trees,
limited
but
control.
Tree says he's willing to be hurt for the greater good. I just am not convinced that that would be the greater good. That would be for the greater good. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't think
Yeah,
that. I do not
I
think
mean,
that that would necessarily result in greater good.
I don't think setting and letting others commit acts of violence against you is good either, though.
Yeah, but there's that's I know, but like Joe, I don't understand. Like I don't know, we don't argue, but I don't understand what you're saying. You're like talking out of both sides. It seems like.
No, I'm not.
I mean, like you're saying this is okay, but then we don't want it. I mean, like I'm not saying never violence. I'm not that stupid. You know what I mean? I know there's a time when you're righteous for fighting, but I don't think that we're at that place yet, and I don't think that the people who are being hurt the worst by this situation are the ones that are the most prepared to do the fighting.
No,
I
you're
mean,
right.
like
You're right.
we
And
are
that,
the you know the handicapped, like disabled people, the elderly, the children, and so we don't have the military thing. The I mean, like, yeah, we have
I
trees.
don't think the
We can't
military would.
trees can't whoop everybody. I know that I would probably like put
I don't
you
think
know
that the military would at least completely support Trump in attacks against that sort of event. I don't think that that would happen. So again, let me explain, Robin. You think that I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but what I'm saying is that the American people have a tendency to do certain things whenever certain oppression occurs. Um, we've seen it happen before. It's not like that would be a new thing here.
yeah. Well,
And because of the way things are going, I'm saying if they continue that way, it seems likely that events like that will occur again. I don't want those to happen. I don't think they're good for anybody. But the truth of the fact matter is, if they start to happen, do you when a bully comes and starts beating the shit out of you, do you sit and let them beat the shit out of you? Is what I'm asking. And it's not that I'm saying you need to do X thing. I'm saying this is historically, this is where things like this lead.
yeah, but it is. I mean, I don't understand what, like, I just feel like that we need some, like, decisions on what we should do, and it seems like that, like, what you're saying is that we have
We
no.
should fight.
Yes, and I think we should fight, but not in a physical fight. I think that we need to
Well,
keep staying on to. I mean, we have to use. We're in a democracy, and I know that it's under threat right now, and I know it doesn't seem like it's very democratic right now, and I feel like, but we have some tools that other people in other countries who get oppressed do not have. And
well,
we have to use those tools and fight through that way
I
as
agree.
until it is time to give up. And it's
I,
not time to give up. Like,
I agree, and I would argue that the Constitution lays out those tools as well. Um, the uh, the the fact that people embrace certain parts of the that outcome is not preferred or wanted. But at the same time, in the analogy to the bully that's beating the shit out of you, some people in that situation run, and some people do nothing, and some people fight back. And whenever it comes to starving people's children, Americans will fight back. And it's better to understand the possibility of this happening and what needs to happen if it
oh, I
does.
understand that, but I
Than
don't think that. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. We need to have you prepare for the apocalypse show, I guess, because that's
oh,
what you were wanting to
shit.
do. We do need to. I mean, because you were wanting to do the prepare for the apocalypse, and we were supposed to be coming on here because we had new hope put instilled
No,
and
and
with devastation.
that's why this comes up, is because I do think that this moves the needle in the other direction.
I know, but we have to. I mean, like, I mean, I think that we can do what if we get people listening and writing their Congress people and pushing and going out and doing the No Kings or whatever, and even we have a workers strike coming up. I'm not sure when that is. Maybe PC or Trees or somebody knows that general strike is supposed to be coming up. Those don't use sometimes those aren't really like don't seem to be like a lot of people participate in them, especially at the time when right now most people don't have a whole lot of money saved up for to miss work. But still, though, do what you can. Don't buy stuff. Like, don't purchase. Don't make sure you don't have to go out and buy stuff during that day that
What
election
what
day.
if we're talking, because again, I don't want to confuse things. Let my preferred outcome that if things continue in that direction would be that people do continue to speak out and peacefully protest, but also the I think that what we're seeing from our Congress and stuff right now, to where one side of the aisle is not allowed to have a word, not allowed to speak, not allowed to do anything, won't even swear in people who are elected to that side. And if that's the case, blue states just need to stop paying taxes. They need to stop supporting red states, stop subsidizing them. That would be what I'd like to see happen, because I think the money is follow the money on everything. Now they won't do that because again, it'll start a war. Um, Red states will just come take it from them, and as long as everybody's going to sit and let them do it, they will. Um, so I'm not advocating for that. I prefer that outcome, to where it's like either we're going to work together and do what it is we're supposed to do here, or we're going to quit doing it. Like that's my idea. But I don't think that's where most Americans are on this at all.
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, I fought right, and I mean, I'm not going to give up on this because
Yeah.
my kids, you know what I mean? Like, I look at, like, to me, it's one of the hardest things to face is that in 250 years, um, like, my generation seemed to have dropped the ball. We lost women's rights. We lost, we're losing. I mean, like, and it's hard. Like, there's women and people who have fought for our rights for all these years. All the women ahead of me who fought for the right to vote, and
Yeah.
now under my generation we've lost, and they want to take our right to vote away.
Yeah.
And I'm not planning on giving it up easy, but
Right.
I'm not going to, But I just, and I feel like that, like, I hate to see anything like that happen. That's why I
I,
want to
I,
take
I do too.
our food back to the people. Like, I think the public opinion stays with the peaceful. I think that
Mhm.
everybody can knock Martin Luther King all they want, but I think that, like, that
I
that
think our
period
public opinion
that
is there. I
period
don't think the
that
public
period
part
in
is.
like in history shows that public opinion goes with the peaceful. That the reason why, and of course, like right now it's under fire, but those people weren't alive back then, or most of them were, some of them weren't, and didn't go with that. But we saw how much change happened from what was peaceful protesting, and what was peaceful, and because the public opinion shows up, and we know now. I mean, we can look back now during the BLM protests, and what rioting occurred that wasn't even necessarily BLM. You know what I mean? Like, there were just people out there that were taking advantage of what was going on, and they did the stuff. And I feel like that right there shows how much just that action can damage your whole movement, because it damaged BLM's movement, beyond just because of the way Fox was allowed to portray it. When it was not BLM that was robbing stores and stuff. You know what I mean? It was people, but that right there allowed that to, like, like, it was
I,
horrible the way that they flipped all that around.
I think that you're right about all that. I agree 100%. I think though that the line that we may draw here as to where that line is quite a bit further to the peaceful side of it than most Americans would be. The the uh, the people in the atheist community many times borderline pacifism, uh, and that's fine. I don't, I have no bitch with that. all I'm saying is that I think that a lot of other people are not. Their line isn't in that same place.
I think it's denial. I think it's not pacifism. I think that there's a lot of people who live in denial right now in the United
Sure,
States
sure.
who just are not paying attention and who are not recognizing how bad it's getting. You know what I
The,
mean? Like we're screaming and screaming about losing the democracy and stuff, and they are like, oh, they've been hollering that for 15 years or whatever. I mean, and they so. I think the best thing we need to do is just keep on educating people on like how bad it is to ignore due process and how bad it is to and like the other day when I was fighting about that, how bad it is to do all that. You have to educate these people and get them to see why we are screaming and hollering about this, why this is a big deal, why ignoring due process is a big deal, why ignoring judges, why like not doing what judges or orders say. And I think that the Tuesday night showed that people are paying attention though.
yeah. Well,
Some people
do you
are.
know what I hope comes out of this? I hope that people learn that they have a responsibility to understand how our government works and what it's doing. That is what I hope comes out of it.
I mean, I would like to have mandatory voting. I mean, like I'm a big, like I would love to have this discussion with someone about that one day because I would love to have mandatory voting. I think that
Well,
I've looked at it in every which way, and I think that it would just be so. We won't go into the details of it, but like I think it would be beneficial for our democracy.
I think if we did an overhaul of like the electoral college and stuff, I would be all for that.
Yeah,
That as it is currently, I think the right not to vote is just as important as the right to vote.
I don't see. I don't think anybody has a right not to vote. Actually, I
Yeah,
think because we all are we all are living with your decision to not have a say. And so like it's like we've got too many people on one side that are motivated to vote every time.
sure.
And then we've got too many people that are just not motivated to vote. And
Yeah,
because that one side can get their people motivated to vote
yeah.
just at any time, that puts us all in danger. And
The
so I
the
think if you grow up in the United States and you live in the United States and you benefit from whatever, of course, we're not the best country in the world, but we still have it better than a lot of countries. The least you could do is at least return a ballot. You don't even have to vote, and you can always leave it blank. That's not against the rules, but
yeah,
you have to return your ballot, and that's the least you can do. We have to pay taxes. We have to, we have to sign up for the draft. You have to. There's a lot of things that we have to do as citizens that are less. I mean, far more intrusive into our lives than just returning a ballot.
yeah. No, I get it. Like I get that position. Um, I I think that I think that while you should, and I've spoke this before, the words of Benjamin Franklin, which is we have a republic if we can keep it, and I think that people do have a responsibility and obligation to go vote and stuff to be part of that change, but also respect the rights of people to not. I don't want to be involved. Like I don't want to do that. So that's really the only point that I have on that. I'm not. That's the only reason that I say I support people's right because we have this. That's the thing with religion,
Well,
right?
you can
If
always just
they
return a blank ballot.
that's the problem with religion is we gave people freedom of religion but not freedom from religion,
But
right?
I mean, like we're supposed to. But you don't have to vote. You do not have to cast a vote for anybody.
Oh,
You can
right.
return the ballot empty, and
No,
they
no,
force us
I
to pay
understand.
taxes, and they force us to sign up for the draft, and they force us to do a lot of things. And like returning a ballot for an election, even if you don't mark a candidate on there, is not it's not intrusive into your life at all, and it's the least you can do for like everybody else. I think like yeah. Look, Aunt Jer says you, Australia has mandatory voting. I mean, I think that the states that have it or the countries that have it, it shows that it's healthy for democracy. But we don't have to have that
Uh,
argument today.
again,
Check into it.
I'm not against the idea. I was just telling you why I said what I said about it. Like that's just why I said that.
Yeah.
It's not a powerful argument or anything. Like it's just that was just the only reason is because I thought of it and compared it to that, which is like a false equivocation.
I've looked into it, like for
Yeah.
quite a bit, and I think that it would be something that would um, significantly improve our democratic process.
Yeah. Well, I no, I agree. If every person would vote, it would. Because what we have in this country is we have a minority, the Republican Party, who does motivate people more and then wins the vote because the Democratic side doesn't show up as often. Um, the until shit
Till
gets
she
to
gets
I
like
guess.
this, yeah,
Yeah,
that's why.
and and it's good to see that. I mean, that this is the positive thing out of all of it, though, is that people did show up to vote everywhere, and a huge blue shift everywhere. Even places that elected red people still shifted towards blue.
And
Um,
I feel like some of those had to be people who voted for Trump. Like
yeah,
they had to be people who voted for Republicans in the past.
yeah.
They had to be. I mean, I know it encouraged more Democrats to get out and not sit home, but um, we'll see. We'll see if we'll see if it turns out that it holds up. But it's a good sign. It's a encouraging sign, and it's the first one we've had in a while.
So, yeah, no, I agree. Um, we're at the 2 hour mark, so I'm gonna wrap this bitch up.
Y'all got to listen to me and Joe argue.
Yeah, we don't agree on everything, but Robin's still my bestie. Like it's all right.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, my adopted brother.
we're we're not incapable of still having conversation. Like the and I respect Robin's position just as much as everybody in the chat that either agreed or disagreed with what I was saying and all that. Like, and admittedly, I was probably a little too fiery about it in explaining my position initially, which made it seem that I hold a position that I actually don't. So
I know.
I just I'm just I just have, as each of us do, we have our own experiences and of living in this country among each other of what happens and all those things. And mine's very much based on my life experiences, and Robin's is based on hers, and so be it. And neither one of those is any better than the other. It's this is one of the problems we run into with theism, right? Is people's personal experiences influence their belief on things, and being an atheist, I don't believe in God, but I'm still guilty of that too. Um,
Yeah.
so, um,
Well, you are a person though that like that right there. That just even that right there. I'm not laying out my whole argument on it. I'm not giving any data on it, whatever. And you are somebody I know that if I laid out the argument and showed you the data on it, I'm I'm kind of convinced that you probably would come to eventually, if you read all that, you would come to the same conclusion I have.
maybe so. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
like,
willing to.
not
I'm
just
always willing to do
opinion.
that.
Like
Yeah,
I have worked on this. I don't talk about it much, but I've been looking into it because it seems like a really far away possibility now.
yeah,
Because I feel like that one party is never going to actually be supportive of that because they try their best to keep people from voting.
yeah.
So they don't want everybody to vote. That's what their whole plan.
Oh yeah, no, that's been the plan for
That's
decades.
been their whole plan, and that's what I mean. So, And that's okay.
Yeah.
You can disagree with me, Joe.
Yeah, no. And I don't know that we actually, I think that my position was more of preparing for the worst thing, and maybe that I put it out there as we should go ahead and do the worst thing, and that's not it. Uh, uh, and to be clear, like I'm guilty of a lot of this of not articulating my position well, which is why these debates and things that I've been doing have been happening, because it's an opportunity for me to work on that. And if I'm wrong, I'm always willing to admit that I'm wrong. I don't. If I'm shown to be wrong about something, I will admit that I'm wrong about it. That's just who I am. It's a thing for a lot of us here. So 100%, Robin. No beef whatsoever there.
No. And like I'm gonna tell you, and I don't think either one of us is necessarily wrong or right. It's just kind of because we don't know the future.
Say bye to everybody, Laura.
Bye, Laura.
Bye.
But yeah, but we'll continue this more next week. We're going to do Wednesday or Thursday next week. What do you want to do?
Wednesday I have an eye doctor's appointment and pain clinic appointment.
So yeah,
Wednesday's not very good.
So you'll be looped out Wednesday.
I will be. I will have to get an eye shot. Yeah, but this is like the time of day when I'm doing all that too. Like,
so do you want to do Thursday next week then?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do Thursday.
So Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, come back and hang out with me and Robin again, and we'll probably have a guest next week. If you want to get, did you say G wanted to come?
Steve come, but we still owe Big Bad Mama too. Remember?
Okay.
Like we owe him one. I haven't talked to him, but
yeah, he was busy on vacation or something, right?
Yeah, he was on a trip, but
no. So we'll get that done. So anyway, just a bit of other things here. Here in an hour and 20 minutes, Austin Sims will be here, and we're going to talk about ERVs. If you want to learn about that with us, come hang out. And this is purely just because I don't understand it as well as I would like to. And this is a starting point for him to share that with all of us. If you're interested in that, ERVs as endogenous retroviruses, and it destroys the creation narrative. So we're going to talk. Yeah, again and again. We're going to talk about that Saturday. The skeptic, you may have heard of him. I call him the other Kentucky atheist. Will be here. John, the skeptic, awesome guy, has taken part in a lot of activist causes and stuff here this year, and been really involved with a number of things. We're going to talk to him Saturday, and me and Robin will be back next Thursday.
Thank you.
If I've upset you in the chat, or you have any other thing to say, leave a comment in the video down here after I end it, and you can or hit me up on my Discord. It's been flying through chat since we've been talking. Thank everybody for coming and watching. Thank you for all my channel members and all that stuff. I appreciate the support.
Love y'all.
We'll keep doing it. Yes, love y'all. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Maybe.